Minister, why has your government deliberately chosen not to cap the cost of electricity or implement a windfall tax on electricity providers in this country? Never has there been more important time to be decisive and to reduce the crippling bills that households and small business firms are facing, and farmers. All energy customers are once again facing extremely significant increases in their bills from this month, with 7 providers applying massive price hikes. These companies are receiving little or no support from the community and from the public and from business. Therefore, why would your government do nothing and effectively hand these companies carte blanche approval to do what they like, literally? That's what you've done. When all the increases since the start of the last year are added up, it's adding over $1,700 a year to people's electricity bills and over $1,700 to their gas bills annually. In overall terms, these cumulative increases will mean an average of a household will be paying $2,500 more energy this year than they were in 2020. And that's the bare facts. The government's only intervention of offering a total rebate for households this winter is completely insufficient. And in fact, the rebate will not even cover 25% or a quarter of the increased cost of the household energy bills over 2020 levels. So, it's a pittance, really. It's silly. In fact, for many households, this amount will not even pay one month's supply bill, and that's the true facts of the matter. And in all, this voucher scheme will only end up going directly to the energy companies, which is not the desired effect. And in reality, it's a bailout for those companies. Government ministers have been quick to recommend that customers change to providers to obtain better prices. But according to the Commission for Energy Regulation, CRU, switching customers will be able to make no real savings, as the discounts offered as incentives have been dramatically reduced. So the companies all the time are doing what they like. Electric Ireland has around 1.2 million electricity customers and 145,000 gas customers. Its parent group ESB reported operating profits of 10% to 679 million for the last year. Its dividend to the state was a mere 126 million. Why don't the government take a much larger slice of that? The massive profits by the ESB group during the current energy crisis should be used to reduce utility bills. This is especially true when one considers the ESB group have reported overall profits of 1.5 billion in the past year alone. That is staggering funds. No one denies them making a profit, but that is just sheer staggering, eye-watering figures. How can the government, as the owners of this company, allow this company to make these record profits off the backs of ordinary households and small business amidst soaring prices for energy?
Thanks very much, Deputy McGrath, for raising this issue. And again, we absolutely recognise that there is a lot of worry out there. A lot of households, a lot of businesses, a lot of community groups, sports clubs and so on are genuinely worried about the months ahead and the bills that are coming their way, and they do worry about how they're going to be able to meet those bills. We accept that, and that is why we have brought forward a whole range of measures, which I won't go through again because I think people are well familiar with them. But I think by any measure, it is a serious response from government. We have done the best we can in bringing forward an €11 billion package that will benefit every household in the country. You make points about the energy companies. We are acting on that through the EU framework. There was agreement on the 30th of September at the Council of Energy Ministers. That will result in a temporary solidarity contribution from the fossil fuel production companies and also a cap on market revenues for those energy providers who have not seen an increase in their costs. So there'll be wind energy, solar energy and so on. And the commitment that we're giving is that the resources that we collect, and we're currently calculating and assessing how much money Ireland is likely to get from those initiatives, we will give that back to households and to businesses to help them to cope with the increased bills that they are facing. The cap and market revenues must be implemented by the start of December, and the solidarity contribution by the end of December. So this is a tight time frame, given legislation and technical implementation in the energy market will be needed. But the government is committed to doing that and to making sure that we do provide the benefit of that extra revenue that we will collect to those that need it the most. In relation to businesses, the temporary business energy support scheme will be up and running next month. It will be backdated to the 1st of September, and as you know, it provides for a payment capped at $10,000 per month to individual businesses, which will meet 40% of the increase in their energy costs this year relative to last year, and it will be based on their per unit price. Of course, that will be administered by the Revenue Commissioners, and we believe that that will be a very significant benefit to businesses all over the country. And further to all of that, we know that for, as I said, clubs, service providers, community groups, they are facing a hard winter as well, and we want to keep the floodlights on, and we want to keep our community halls warm. We want people to be able to avail of all of these vital services and local amenities, and that's why we have provided €340 million in extra funding between now and the end of the year across a whole range of areas. €35 million, for example, for our sports clubs, to make sure that our children and all of the members of clubs all over the country can continue to avail of the facilities that we and local communities have invested in over the years.
Minister, look, it's a pretty feeble answer, and you're a tired government that are fatigued. Remember that you have created this problem yourself. You like to blame Ukraine and the war, as awful as it is. You've created this problem. You can't make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. That's what you're trying to do here. 40% is not nearly enough for the businesses. I have one super value in Tipperary whose bill went from 6,000 in the month of February last year to 18,000 this year. What good is 40%? And that's replicated to all other businesses, big and small. So then you hadn't the energy in your departments to stop the money going to millionaires and people like ourselves that don't need it. They can manage it without it. What is wrong with you that you can't do that? So you're a tired government. I think it's time for you to pack your bags and beer and boher and go back to the people, because the people know this. You have created this problem. You're blinkered by the green policies here, and no matter what happens, you'll continue with the folly of supporting Minister Ryan and following him down this cul-de-sac that there's no comeback from, no exit, a deep dark cul-de-sac, and that's where you remain. But the people of the country don't want to go down those cul-de-sacs. They're frozen, they're worried, they can't afford to meet these things, and their spirit, you're trying to kill the spirit of them, but you won't kill them, the spirit of them, because they're resilient people, and they know they'll get you out very soon from where you're sitting in your pretty seats.
Thanks very much, Deputy. People are worried, and I don't think we should add to their worries by being unfair in our analysis of the situation. The price today for UK gas on wholesale markets is around £3 a therm. This day 2 years ago, the price was 50 pence a therm. And yet you stand up in this House here and you say it's all the fault of the Irish government. You know, you just completely undermine your own argument by not even recognising.
You want the glasses, Steve?
If I may finish. To be fair, but not even recognising basic facts. That the wholesale price of energy on the international markets has rocketed. And for you to say that it's all the fault of the Irish government, Deputy, is just not accurate, it's not credible, and I think you're just misleading people for your own political advantages. The government has brought forward a package, €1.2 billion of specific special payments that will be made between now and early December. That will be of real help to people. You know, we stood by businesses during COVID-19. We've seen a strong recovery in the Irish economy. We're setting up a scheme now. We're focused on getting that up and running. And of course we'll keep it under review. And of course if the government needs to do more next year, at least we have the resources to do so. Because we will have a surplus next year, and we've put funding away so that we have the capacity to respond and to provide extra help to people if we need to over the course of next year.